helping you in return. What is that? We need your financial assistance. We need you to support HudaTv with your charity, with your donations. Now, my dear brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards charity in abundance. We know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us from amongst the best of deeds is to give from the money which you love, to give from the wealth which you are saving for a rainy day, but give it in the cause of Allah Almighty. Can you imagine? Can you just imagine that to give from the money which you love, to give from the wealth which you are a particular part of HudaTv, and that program influenced thousands of people, and they took their shahada, they embraced Islam. Can you imagine the ajr, the reward that will come in your direction? Dear viewers, I have a humble request. Please, 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 dig deep into your pockets, dig deep into your bank accounts, and make those transactions, make those charities, the sadaqah to this beautiful channel. You have seen this channel working for years. We've been producing so many beautiful programs. Let me remind you of what Allah says about charity. What does He say in the beautiful Quran? لَن تَنَالُوا الْبِرَّ حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ. That you will not attain al-birr, al-jannah, righteousness, goodness, حَتَّى until tunfiqu, until you spend mimma tuhibbun, from the money which you love. We all have money in our pockets, but the money which we love is the money which is sitting in our bank accounts. We're saving for a rainy day, to buy a house, to buy a car, for our children's wedding, and so on and so forth. My dear respected viewers who are watching all around the world, I ask you to dig deep into this money that you love and give it for the sake of Allah. Give it for the sake of removing those sins from your account. When we enter into our graves, nothing is going to help us more than our charity and our good deeds. My dear respected viewers, I ask you, those living in the UK, to dig into your pounds. Those living in the Arab world, dig into your riyals. Those who are in the Arab Asian world, dig into your rupees. And those in the America, dig into your dollars and spend and give in the way of the charity, the way of this channel. My respected brothers and sisters, imagine you inside your grave being questioned with the torments, with the trials of the grave, and you're receiving more and more good. Once again, HudaTv, the links are below, the website, the PayPal address. Please donate generously. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah, will reward you in abundance. I love you. We love you. HudaTv, a light in every home, and we hope to continue producing programs for the next 10, 20, 30 years, inshallah ta'ala, with Allah's help and with your support. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to this episode of Heart Therapy. In this episode, we have been discussing the concept of al-wara'. And al-wara' is basically one of the actions related to the heart. It originates from the consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whereby a person is always conscious of Allah and the consequences of his actions. And so, before he does something, he asks himself, is there a harm for me in this thing if I do it? Even if it doesn't appear on the outset that this thing is harmful, but if you were to really, really think about it, there is a potential harm in the akhirah for me being involved in this particular thing. Now, we were mentioning before the break that there is a very important matter related to this concept of al-wara', and that is knowledge. And so no one can attain the level of al-wara' while being ignorant or illiterate. And so Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, he says in this regard, he says, the perfection of wara' is when the person knows what is the better of two good deeds in order to perform it, and the worst of two evil deeds in order to avoid it. He goes on to say, Islam is based upon establishing good and preventing evil from occurring, or at least reducing it as much as possible. One who cannot judge when to perform and when to refrain from an action, he may give up performing an obligation or committing a prohibition, thinking that he is being pious. And then he gives an example. He says, such as the example of a man who gives up performing jihad with oppressive rulers, thinking that this is wara', whereas it results in the enemy overpowering the Muslims. And so from this we see that ignorance causes people to give up performing obligatory actions, claiming that they are being pious, claiming that they are basically trying to use wara', such as those people who refrain from, for example, attending Salat al-Jama'ah, congregational prayer. Why? Because the Imam, he is a sinner. He does certain sins. And so this is only an excuse to stay away from certain obligatory actions. And so this is a very, very important point to remember when discussing this topic of al-wara'. And so the intention has to be pure. And so when you look into a certain act, will this harm me or will it not? You're doing it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you truly believe that there is harm in this. You're not doing it in order to sneak away, in order to find a way out of this obligatory act. Another rule that should be highlighted here with regards to al-wara' is what Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, he pointed out when he said, giving up obligatory and recommended acts is not included in the definition of al-wara'. This only applies to prohibited or disliked acts. And so we should understand that al-wara' is to stay away from that which is haram or that which is permissible, but it may lead to haram. As for obligatory acts, refraining from it, a person has no excuse for refraining from obligatory acts. He also said, Ibn Taymiyyah also says, that wara' is to give up that which is harmful, like prohibitions or doubtful matters, but refraining from obligations and recommended acts is ignorance and transgression. And so a person who has knowledge, he understands the difference between the two. And a person who is ignorant, he thinks that this is wara', to abandon something which is obligatory or something which is recommended, a recommended act, what is known as mustahab. And so real wara' is basically of three categories. The first is that which is obligatory. In other words, to have wara' is obligatory with regards to what? With regards to that which is clearly haram. Meaning that we are not allowed to indulge in haram. This is something we all know. And wara' is to stay away from that. The second category is the wara' that is recommended. It is not obligatory, but it is recommended. It is encouraged. And that is with regards to doubtful matters. And so doubtful matters, you don't know. Is this something I should do or is it something I should not do? We say it is recommended that you don't do it. It is recommended that you don't do it because of the hadith that we mentioned previously. Finally, the third category is what can be referred to as virtuous, meaning al-wara' being virtuous. And so many permissible things, if one was to exercise wara', then this is a sign that he is virtuous, he is righteous, and only sticking to what is necessary, only sticking to what is essential. And so, for example, a person who lives a very, very simple life, there are many things which are permissible for him, but he doesn't bother with them. He lives in a simple house. He doesn't decorate his house that much. He drives a simple car, and so on and so forth. It's permissible for him to live in a moderate house, to decorate his house. It's permissible for him to drive a moderate car or even an expensive car. There's nothing wrong with that. It's permissible. But he stays away from all of that and just sticks to what is necessary in order for him to survive in this world. And so this is virtuous, and this is the highest level of al-wara'. And so he leaves that off. He leaves that off and abandons these things out of wara', because he fears the potential harm in that. What is the potential harm? Perhaps he may overindulge if he was to start indulging in these permissible acts, or it will make him to forget about the remembrance of Allah, and so on and so forth. Finally, what we can say is that al-wara' should also be exercised when it comes to scholarly opinions. Scholarly opinions, especially on matters related to al-fiqh. And so we have the scholars who have differed on hundreds, if not thousands, of matters, all the way back from the time of the Sahaba and those who came after them. They differed on many different matters related to the worship of Allah, related to matters of fiqh. And so we say that wara' should be applied here as well. And that is to choose the opinion that is safer for you in the akhirah. And so, for example, if the scholars, they differed about something which is either permissible or haram, and so one group of scholars, they considered something to be permissible, and another group of scholars, they considered it to be haram. And let's say you had enough knowledge to look into both of these opinions and analyze the evidences and the arguments that they used. That is, if you have enough knowledge. As for most people, the laymen, they don't have enough knowledge to look at these evidences and analyze them. We say that for the layman, the average Muslim out there, this is not his job to go into the opinions of the scholars and try to analyze them, see who has a stronger evidence, etc., because you don't have the tools to do that. Rather, the job of the layman is to simply follow the local scholars who he trusts their amana, their taqwa, and their knowledge. And he just simply asks them and takes their word. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Ask the people of knowledge if you yourselves do not know. But let's say someone, he has enough knowledge and he looks at both opinions and he looks at the evidences, but even then, even after that, he comes out with no conclusion. He doesn't know, is this particular act permissible or is it haram? Both groups have strong evidences. So what we do here, we say stick to al-wara'. And wara' here would be to simply stay away from that act. Either it's permissible in the sight of Allah or it is haram. The safer thing for you to do is to simply not do it. Why? Because of the potential harm in the akhirah. In the akhirah, you will be questioned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if indeed it happened that that group of scholars who said it was haram, that was the truth. Similarly, if the scholars, they differ over something being either permissible or obligatory, the same thing. We say, you don't know, is this permissible or is it obligatory? So what do? You use wara' and you say, I will do it. Because either it's permissible or it's obligatory. In the akhirah, if you do not do it, in the akhirah, you will be blamed for not doing something which could have been obligatory. Finally, in conclusion, I wanted to mention the difference between al-wara' and another concept which is very similar, which is known as az-zuhd. And so, az-zuhd is basically to abandon something which has no benefit in it. So what is the difference between az-zuhd and al-wara'? Al-wara', as we mentioned, is to leave something which is potentially harmful in the akhirah. Whereas az-zuhd is to leave something which has no benefit in it for you in this dunya or in the akhirah. In the akhirah, there is no benefit for you in it. And so here we have three categories. Number one, that which harms in the akhirah or potentially will harm in the akhirah. The second is that which benefits. And the third is that which does not benefit nor harm. And so what we see from this is that zuhd is a higher level than al-wara'. And so the people of zuhd, they are those who abandon the dunya. They abstain from all the things that Allah has made permissible in the dunya. Why? Because they're looking at the akhirah and they're seeing that there's no benefit in this for me. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make each and every one of us from the people of wara'. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to purify our hearts and make us always conscious of Him. With that, we come to the conclusion of this episode. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
I've been doing all my life what I crave. Shaitan and I have always held me in slave. Wash all the filth away and change my dead heart. Make me alive again. Give me a fresh start. So check my heart, please. Wash the filth away. Don't leave me drowning here, alone and astray. Don't leave me drowning here, alone and astray.
Were your hearts purified, you could never have your fill of the words of your Lord, the Quran.
Make me love the things that will cause you to love me too. Oh Allah.
أولم ير الذين كفروا أن السماوات والأرض كانتا رتقا ففتقناهما وجعلنا من الماء كل شيء حي أفلا يؤمنون وجعلنا في الأرض رواسي أن تميد بهم وجعلنا فيها فجاجا سبلا لعلهم يهتدون وجعلنا السماء سقفا محفوظا وهم عن آياتها معرضون وهو الذي خلق الليل والنهار والشمس والقمر كل في فلك يسبحون وما جعلنا لبشر من قبلك الخلد أفإن مت فهم الخالدون كل نفس ذائقة الموت ونبلوكم بالشر والخير فتنة وإلينا ترجعون.
Have those who disbelieved not considered that the heavens and the earth were a joined entity, and we separated them and made from water every living thing? Then will they not believe? And we placed within the earth firmly set mountains, lest it would shift with them, and we made therein mountain passes as roads that they might be guided. And we made the sky a protected ceiling, but they from its signs are turning away. And it is He who created the night and the day, and the sun and the moon, all heavenly bodies in orbit are swimming. And we did not grant to any man before you eternity on earth. So if you die, would they be eternal? Every soul will taste death, and we test you with evil and with good as trial, and to us you will be returned.
Oh, sing, children of the world, come together and hear the call. Sing, children of the world, Islam will unite us all. Subhanallah walhamdulillah, wallahu akbar. Subhanallah walhamdulillah, wallahu akbar.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to this episode on Huda. We've been talking about our schools and what is missing in a series of programs which we have Dr. Mamdouh Mohammed here with us discussing what is missing in our schools today. Today, welcome, of course, our guest, well-respected guest, Dr. Mamdouh Mohammed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you today, Doctor?
Alhamdulillah, wonderful.
Everything is fine.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay, good, excellent. So today, in each episode, we've been focusing on a slightly different aspect of our schools in the hope that we will benefit the viewers and encourage them to look for these sort of things that should be going on in our schools, and perhaps even try to get things started or mobilize these sort of things so that we can benefit our children the most. Now, Doctor, in this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about teaching strategies. We've moved from kind of general material, and we talked about the school overall, how we're moving the school forward. We will come back to that later. However, in this episode, we're going to focus on teaching strategies, perhaps in the classroom.
Okay.
So we talked a little bit about the traditional methods of teaching, and we've said that perhaps this is more focused on, as you've termed, lecturing. Can you just tell us a little bit about what you mean by lecturing and the traditional ways of teaching, and if there is any weakness or benefit actually in that?
Yeah, the traditional way in the past was one person who would deliver what he has from the amount of knowledge that he has, and he would be speaking all the time, and all the students are sitting, yes, trying to listen attentively to what he or she said. This is known as lecturing or dribbling. It's one way talk. You'll find the students are listening, and because of the new studies that proved that the focus span of a human being or student now is becoming shorter and shorter because of the lots of attraction that happen around the students. Yes, something is running here, phone ring, somebody would enter the classroom and would ask a question or would take the attendance. There are lots of distractions. Yeah. So lecturing usually would find after some time students started to relax, and some of them lose their focus either by sleeping or by
I think
doing.
it's a very important point there, because this is a very one-dimensional style, isn't it?
One way teaching.
Yeah, one way. And as you said, we're competing a lot. Well, certainly teachers are competing against a lot of different entertainments. So perhaps, as you said, we need to change.
Yeah, we need to change, because there are many other methods that had been discovered or had been invented by other teachers, and they are more fruitful than this. And in fact, I wouldn't say this lecturing style or teaching style is really beneficial in some issues. And when you deliver specific knowledge, you need to say what the people don't know, so they would understand and they would take it.
So we're not saying here that there is no case for this one-dimensional style. There is no benefit. In fact, that there is some benefit to it.
Absolutely, yes. There are some benefits of it, because this is the way to disseminate knowledge. And most of the people until now, they get their knowledge and their information from the TV or from the radio. So they are passive learners. They learn. Yes, but the problem of this is if they don't interact with this piece of information, right, the possibility of forgetting it is higher than if they interact with it, if they live it, if they, yes, have their hands on it, if they test it. And this can be done in the classroom, but it cannot be done if you are watching the TV, right? That's why working with the internet, working with computers is more effective than listening to a lecturer or somebody who is speaking on the TV, because you are passive. Once you start participating and making the situation interactive, the possibility of having this knowledge remaining in your brain for longer times is higher than just becoming a passive learner.
Okay, yeah. I understand. So we're saying that we need to increase the participation.
Absolutely. We need to make our classroom more interactive. We need to make a balance between teacher's talk and student's talk. It's the concept of the teacher-centered classroom is moving now to student-centered classroom. This may be strange for the traditional teachers, for the
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the Quran in 7 different ways of recitation. Similarly, Maryam alayhi salam, she's a woman by herself. She doesn't even have a husband who's ever touched her, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted a child to Maryam alayhi salam. Look at that. She said that, how will I have a child? وَلَمْ يَمْسَسْنِي بَشَرٌ. How will I have a child whilst I've never even been touched by a man. One of the unique things about the story is that it's not like Umar al-Khattab hasn't heard these verses. Can you imagine that Umar al-Khattab hasn't heard these verses? He became sick from the effect that this ayah ended up having on his mind.
Lose their focus either by sleeping or by
I think
doing.
it's a very important point there, because this is a sort of a very sort of one-dimensional style, isn't it?
One way teaching.
Yeah, one way. And as you said, we're competing a lot. Well, certainly teachers are competing against a lot of different entertainments. So perhaps, as you said, we need to change.
Yeah, we need to change, because there are many other methods that had been discovered or had been invented by other teachers, and they are more fruitful than this. And in fact, I wouldn't say this lecturing style or teaching style is really beneficial in some issues. And when you deliver specific knowledge, you need to say what the people don't know, so they would understand and they would take it.
So we're not saying here that there is no case for this one-dimensional style. There is no benefit. In fact, that there is some benefit to it.
Absolutely, yes. There are some benefits of it, because this is the way to disseminate knowledge. And most of the people until now, they get their knowledge and their information from the TV or from the radio. So they are passive learners. They learn. Yes, but the problem of this is if they don't interact with this piece of information, right, the possibility of forgetting it is higher than if they interact with it, if they live it, if they, yes, have their hands on it, if they test it. And this can be done in the classroom, but it cannot be done if you are watching the TV, right? That's why working with the internet, working with computers is more effective than listening to a lecturer or somebody who is speaking on the TV, because you are passive. Once you start participating and making the situation interactive, the possibility of having this knowledge remaining in your brain for longer times is higher than just becoming a passive learner.
Okay, yeah. I understand. So we're saying that we need to increase the participation.
Absolutely. We need to make our classroom more interactive. We need to make a balance between teacher's talk and student's talk. It's the concept of the teacher-centered classroom is moving now to student-centered classroom. This may be strange for the traditional teachers, specifically for the old teachers, or some teachers still in some countries, they think that the teacher is the center of everything, where he disseminates knowledge and everybody is passive. This is good for some subjects, but not in everything. You cannot be good in science without having hands on. You have to use your hands to make experiments, to see by yourself what's going on. It's not enough to know the equation or to see the teacher is explaining it. You have to put your hand and to know how it works.
Yeah, I certainly remember from my days of learning, and of course from my days of teaching as well. Getting interaction, it makes things stick in the brain.
Yeah, it makes vivid. You make your brain
makes it come alive, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely, it's alive.
Those were the best science lessons, weren't they? The one where a big explosion happened. You never forget that.
Yeah. Even in languages, for example, the role playing, when you ask the students to play some roles, one of them is a waiter, another one is a guest, and one of them is a customer, and one of them is a cashier, and all this. So when you act something, it means that you live it, or you put it from the theory into practice. You try to make the classroom a live or a real life situation for the students, so their learning increases and becomes deeper than other things.
Okay, what about in a subject like, for example, maths?
Yeah.
How would that translate?
Even in math, there is a difference between the teacher who is all the time standing in front of the board and explaining everything, and he is writing, and all the students are copying what he or she is writing, and the situation of that when the teacher gives them some problems to solve them. I need you to measure this classroom. And another student or another group of students would be asked to measure the height of the classroom. I've seen that some teachers are asking the students to measure the pole of the flag. And she gave them a tip, for example, one part of the rope of the flag, and is this measured in such a way? So how can you measure this rope? I have seen teachers who train their kids, so that were the students, to go home and measure the measurement of the suits of their family members, for each one, for the father, for the mother, for the sister, for the brother, so they would know. Now this is practical math. It's so important in our life to see the shapes by themselves and to see the difference between the circle and the triangle, and instead of the teacher just talking and there on the stage and everybody is listening.
Yeah, I remember from my point of view in maths particularly, I had a love for it somewhere, but it was so boring just sitting there and just doing calculations on the board. If someone had just shown me how to apply it,
absolutely,
perhaps I would have been a bit better at maths than I am.
You know, this table of the Japanese that they invented when they tried to count by these rows. So it's something practical. So they changed just the abstract figures into something tangible, so the kids can do it. Even in most of the shops in Japan and other countries, you would find this table that looks like a rose, right? So they use it, yes, to count, to make the counting. Yeah, so which is something, whatever it is practical, usually is very beneficial for the human being, especially in subjects, scientific subjects.
Okay, so you mentioned this idea of moving the focus from the teacher onto the student. Yeah. And what sort of activities? I know you've mentioned before collaboration.
Collaborative work.
Yeah, collaborative work.
Yeah.
That seems to be a fairly important part of this.
Yeah.
Can you just explain what you mean by collaborative work?
Before I do that, I would say, talking about teaching strategies, there are many studies that prove that the teacher who uses a variety or a wide variety of teaching methods would be able to address different needs of the students, because we learn differently. Some people learn by hands-on. Some people learn when they listen and take notes. Some people learn when they discuss. Some people learn when they ask questions. Some people learn better when they play the role of somebody else. So these are variety of teaching methods because they address the needs of the students. That's why the more variety of teaching lessons a teacher provides, the more possible that all the students will learn, because each group of students or each individual student would learn differently from the other. So using a wide variety of teaching methods opened the door for all the students to learn better.
Okay, can you just give us a little bit of an idea for the viewers, and certainly me, what you mean by different learning techniques? Because, I mean, sorry, different learning styles. Like, for example, you know, kinetic, there's the idea of the kinetic learner, isn't there? What are the different kind of styles that teachers need to be aware of in the classroom?
Yeah, this is teaching methods, because teaching, as I said, that I learn better when I practice, when my hands is on, right? So when you give me an opportunity in the classroom that, for example, in a language lesson, you allow me to speak, to play the role of somebody, right? So this means hands-on, I am practicing it. Some people learn better when they touch the shapes, that the triangle and the circle and all these things, better than when they see it visually. Some others would learn when they see visually.
So this is called a visual learner, is that
visual
right?
learner, someone is visual.
So the first is the kinetic learner, which is the one who moves and who uses the body to move and practical.
It's without going into specifics. What I'm trying to say, that's why now we have resource rooms. That's why you find, you go to a resource room for science or a resource room for language, you find a lot of media things, a lot of things that would help the teacher present her lesson or his lesson in a way that's different from the traditional way that the teacher is carrying the book, reading, and everybody is listening. And after a few minutes, you will find everybody is losing the concentration.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you.
So having this, and it's not necessarily that the teacher would do this in every lesson, but it's the nature of the exercise or the nature of the lesson or this particular passage that requires this. For example, reading a book, for example. If the students read the book at home, reading stories at home, and they come to the classroom, and each one of them would present the story that he read or she read in the way that the student himself likes to present it. I've seen many examples of this. I've seen.
Okay, just before you carry on,
Okay.
we're going to go through a short break for this program. We'll be back very shortly. We will see you after the break.
This is Walid Bassuri, the Vice President of Al Maghrib Institute and a member of the Fatwa Committee and a simply jurist in North America. Believe it or not, there is no universal definition for the word terrorism. In United Nations, there's a lot of debates, no agreement on how to define terrorism. They have no mercy. They have no feelings. Killing kids, killing an 80 years old priest in the church, even the soldier, the enemy that you fight in a legit fight, if he is in a state of safety and security, not expected to be harmed, you're not allowed to harm him. But even other historians and other theologians said, no, Al-Khawarij started even in the Prophet ﷺ time, hijacking airplanes, destroying urban areas and buildings, public properties, targeting civilians, and all these kind of things that the terrorist group do today. And he said it's absolutely forbidden in Islam.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to this episode of Our Schools, What is Missing. Now, before the break, we've been talking with Dr. Mamdouh Mohammed, looking at the teaching strategies in the classroom and how we can get the most out of our students. Dr. Mamdouh, before the break, we were just discussing a various number of teaching strategies and the benefits of having a variety of teaching strategies. Can you just recap for us what you were saying?
Let me put it in a different way. We have different senses. We have the sight, right? So some people are more oriented to sight, so they learn by seeing things. So when they see things, they learn a lot of things, right? Some people are, depending on their listening skill. So when they listen a lot, right, they learn by listening. And this was the traditional way. It's still the most effective one, because even in the Quran, you will find all the time the listening comes before the seeing. In the sam'a wal basara comes before, So because you can learn a lot even if you don't see, but it's not vice versa. If you don't listen, right? If somebody is deaf, right? So he wouldn't, the ability to learn is very limited. So still people learn a lot from it. Some people learn by the sense of touching. When they touch things, when they feel things, they see the differences. That's why it's very important to use all these senses, especially for young kids. That's why we let them play with the sand, different shapes and different activities that they use all their senses to develop these senses. So this is basically, the more you address all these senses, the more the opportunity for the students to learn more and more. And I think that the whole school, every school needs to focus on this. Does the teacher also only teaches and the students are passive learners? Or do they really have opportunities to manipulate things that they have, to use their visuals, to use, other different ways like discussions, like hands-on, like all these things. This is in summary the teaching strategies and the learning strategy of the students, and the possibility of having, these meeting, this is very high. So this group of students who learn by this way, so they would meet this teaching strategy. So it would be very good best fit for every group of student or for every individual students if you make a variety of teaching. But if you use one method only like this, and you have students with different learning styles, so now it's only one person or one group is going to learn, and all the other groups, as you see, that they are not going to benefit as this particular individual.
So one very important part of these variety of techniques, as we were mentioning before, is collaborative and cooperative learning.
Yeah.
And that's something which is, can we say, a fairly new phenomena in the classroom
For
some.
for some people, yes.
Can you just tell us?
It has been going on, I think, since the creation of Adam. But now the importance of it becomes clearer for all people.
Okay, so what exactly do you mean? That's the thing.
Now, when you make group work, when you assign this group of students a task, and they work together to solve it, first of all, it should be challenging for them. It should be ahead of them, one step ahead. So there is a problem, and they need to solve it. Now, they start the discussion. The answer, the solution is not there. They don't know it yet. But after discussion, you give an idea, and I give my idea, and the third one would listen to the two ideas. He would come up with another idea. That's what they say, the marriage of ideas. Right. So these ideas marry together, so something come up with a newborn baby, a newborn idea would come from the discussion. The solution was not there. But because of the discussion, they enrich each other and they would come up with the solution. It's a very important thing because the world nowadays is very complex and very complicated. You cannot rely upon yourself by yourself. No, cooperative work. And that's why, for example, big companies, when they hire the expertise from everywhere in the world, and those experts put their heads together, they produce something that was not there. They invent. That's why you find these companies make a lot of invention nowadays. In the previous times, it was the individual who used to make the invention. Now, it's not that. It's a group of people, group inventors sitting together, discussing, and they come up with a solution, and they make it an invention. This is exactly one of the tasks, one of the activities we need to enrich our classes with.
Okay, and what's the basis Islamically here? I mean, is there any basis?
Oh,
from
yeah,
Islam
there,
here?
of course. Either by action or by the statement. In the Quran itself, you'll find the word ta'awanu, work together, work collaboratively. Yes, because this means that if you work individually, you cannot get it by yourself. Nobody can build a skyscraper by himself. We've never heard about there. It's a possibility that he or she can do that, but it takes definitely long time, and it is not as professional or as perfect as it had been done by 100 people. And you can see this, for example, in authoring books. There's a difference between a book that's authored by 20 authors. Each one of them is specialized in a specific area, right? And one teacher or one person, one author, authors one book. And you see, most of the textbooks that are used in schools, usually they are not a single person authorship. It's just a group of authors, a group of people working together to produce this beautiful thing that benefits hundreds, if not millions of people. So this is the importance of, we are lacking this in it. What's happening is that everybody would say, I did this. We are moving from the I to the we, something that's very important for the whole world. It's we have done this rather than I have done it. You don't have neither the time, right, or the power to produce something so unique nowadays by yourself.
And Doctor, in your experience, how effective has this been in the development of children? I mean, what have you seen?
It's really something amazing. We've seen very good examples by students. They're doing some projects. I've seen some school. Yes, there is a problem. They give them a problem like, okay, there was an accident here, and we don't know who is the killer. They give them the scenario, and they work like a police crew or something like that, and each one of the responsible, and they discuss issues together to find who did that. This is in reality the situation.
In what lesson was this?
I think it was critical thinking. It's one of the activities in a classroom that the teacher wants to develop the group work among students to find the solution for the problem. And this is written in many scenarios. Even the books of fiqh, you find as questions like this. A person left his country on that specific airplane at that time, and he headed for the east. Again, it's the sun, and when he reached there, it was Maghrib time. The books of fiqh are full of these examples, and they enrich the brains of the people to think. And that's why the fuqaha, now they say that فقيه واحد أشد على الشيطان من ألف عابد. They say that one faqih, one person of reasoning and understanding, is more difficult to be deceived by the shaitan than 1,000 abid, a person who is just doing the ibadah blindly without reflecting upon the context, without reflecting upon the reasons that led to this. Yeah, so this is very important to be faqih.
Such as the value of the scholar.
This is the value of the scholars. They are fuqaha because they try to understand the situation. That's why, and this is something sometimes the layman does not know. The faqih sometimes gives you a fatwa that's different from the fatwa that he gives to her. Why? This is a good faqih, by the way. This is a good faqih. Why? Because he understands that when he gets the whole context of your situation, he finds that there are some difference in your situation than the differences in her situation. Because of these slight differences, so he modifies his fatwa accordingly. In other words, it's customized to your situation.
So we're saying that the benefits and the effects of the collaborative work allow the children to think through different situations. Absolutely. Which have come from their colleagues.
Their colleagues. So they get ideas from each other. They share ideas.
So that's enriching their ability.
Enriching their abilities and stretching their brains. Stretching their brains. Okay. This is one thing. Of course, there's something called independent work. We need to develop it in our students, but still we need that. So that's what when you have a variety of activities, you can develop all these things. You can train the students how to work by themselves, individually, independent work, and at the same time, how to let them work with other people successfully.
Okay, so we will come on to independent work in a later episode.
Yes, later we can talk about that.
Let's just say that this is okay. We've said that this has been going on for a long period of time, somewhere in the world.
Everywhere
this collaborative work.
Yeah.
What are the difficulties in implementing this sort of thing in the classroom for the teacher, and what about the difficulties for the student?
Yeah. The difficulties for the teachers, the barrier of the teachers, especially when they become old and when they don't get a lot of training, is that they fossilize. Everyone usually, when you present something new to him or to her, they don't get it easily. For example, the new machines, when computer came, it was very difficult for old people, the 50s, in the 50s, if they are 50 years old or 60 years old, they didn't want to use the computers. When you come to the new generation, the 20s and even the teenagers, they got into it very quickly, right? It's because when some person grows up, he or she fossilizes. Why? Because he was not trained continuously, because one of the important effects of training is that it makes a human being flexible, receptive to new things.
So for the student, I can see this is quite easy for him. He's young, he's willing to be trained, and he will accept these ideas perhaps more easily. What about the teacher, getting the teacher to
the same thing?
You might say he's a bit fossilized.
Yeah, this is in fact what's happening. And this is the responsibility of the school. If the school is aware of its goals and wants to do a good job, they start giving training to the teachers, continuous training, once a week, once a month, but they keep them trained, because when they are trained, they get new things.
Okay, Doctor, I'm going to have to stop you there.
Okay.
We've come to the end of another episode of Our Schools, What is Missing. Thank you very much for joining us, to all our viewers. Thank you again to Dr. Mamdouh.
Sure.
We will see you again as soon as possible, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Oh, sing, children of the world, come together and hear the call. Sing, children of the world, Islam will unite us all. Sing, children of the world, come together and hear the call. Sing, children of the world, Islam will unite us all. Subhanallah walhamdulillah wallahu akbar. Subhanallah walhamdulillah wallahu akbar.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. These are the months in Islam. Muharram, Safar, Rabi'ul Awwal, Rabi'ul Thani. These are the months in Islam. Jumada al-Ula, Jumada al-Ukhra, Rajab and Shaban. Ramadan, Ramadan, Ramadan and Shawwal. Dhul Qa'dah and Dhul Hijjah. These are the months in Islam. Muharram, Safar, Rabi'ul Awwal, Rabi'ul Thani. These are the months in Islam. Jumada al-Ula, Jumada al-Ukhra, Rajab and Shaban. Ramadan, Ramadan, Ramadan and Shawwal. Dhul Qa'dah and Dhul Hijjah. These are the months in Islam.
HudaTv is pleased to announce the launching of its first mobile phone application on all iOS and Android-based devices. Browse your phone store for our new app under the name of HudaTv. Huda app delivers a bunch of amazing and versatile services to our fans and viewers worldwide. You can watch our live streaming on the move, surf our large archive of categorized articles, benefit from our daily supplications Askar that every Muslim should recite throughout the day. Just tap on any item of the Askar list and it will take you to the specific supplication it indicates to. Need to know the broadcast time of your favorite program? Just click to broadcast schedule for specific details. Huda app allows users to browse the gems of HudaTv website, where they can enjoy our telemedia services by watching thousands of video clips, plenty of audio clips featuring invocations, nasheeds, and audio themes of our favorite programs. Go back to the index page and check upon what is going on at HudaTv by visiting ever-updated Huda News. Get to know the profiles of Huda stars and never forget to tap on our behind-the-scenes button for exploring our backstage activities. It's also worthy to check upon Huda's pages on social media websites and enjoy our awesome posts and sharing. Download HudaTv's app now and live our world of authentic Islamically themed educational knowledge. HudaTv brings light to every smartphone.
Allah is my heart's beat. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test.
ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. All praise Him and we seek His help. Whomsoever Allah guides is the truly guided one, and whomsoever Allah leaves astray, none can show him guidance. May the best peace and blessings be upon Prophet, upon him. My dear viewers, welcome to another of Ask Huda, and our contact informations are as follows on the bottom of the screen. Simultaneously, area code 002, then 023855 131, that is the landline. The mobile phone is area code 002, then 0100 5469323. We've got two WhatsApp numbers, area code 001 347 80625, and the last number is area code 61489 we're also live on my page, M Salah Official, on the Facebook page, and I also take the questions from the page during the live program as well. First caller, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Muhammad from the KSA, welcome to Ask Huda. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Ask Huda, Muhammad.
Okay, Sheikh, honestly, I have to tell you, your program is really interesting and really giving us lots of knowledge. And let Allah help you and HudaTv and the whole Muslims to be in the right path, and Allah accept everybody's deeds and accept in Jannatul Firdaus everybody, every Muslim. Ameen.
Ameen. Thank you, Brother Muhammad, for your beautiful supplication.
Yeah, Sheikh, I have one question. When I am in Makkah during Ramadan time, I see in some of reading the Quran, and while the Sheikh is reading in the prayer, the same time they are, the translation Quran they are using. So when the Sheikh reads the surah, he is looking the translation also with the Arabic text plus translation. Okay, Sheikh, you said that is my question, Sheikh.
Okay, in the prayer itself. Okay. Muhammad, I think we need further clarification so that I will give you the answer in the light of the proper question. Maybe you are asking about some people, they read from the Quran while they are praying, or they're holding the Quran while they're praying. I assume this is what you said. And also you said that they look at the translation. I just want to make sure that that is your question. Meanwhile, while waiting for you to call back or version, Charmine sent us a question, which is or does a wife have any financial obligations towards her husband or her children? Thank you. No. Under regular circumstances, a wife is not obliged to support her husband financially or spend on her household financially. In Surah Al-Baqarah, in ayah number 2, in Surah An-Nisa, in ayah number 233, the Almighty Allah says, وَبِمَا أَنفَقُوا مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ. The ayah begins with, الرِّجَالُ قَوَّامُونَ عَلَى النِّسَاءِ بِمَا بعضهم على بعض وبما أنفقوا. Men are the protectors, the guardians, are in charge of women by the means of Allah have made some of them as is hers, and she doesn't really have to do much. Plus, the husband was, of course, firstly, then support him is, of course, recommended. This is your husband, and money, education, or whatever. This is all appreciation, and this is considered an act of charity. It can also be deducted from your zakah if you provide making the payment. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. نعم محمد، السلام عليكم. اسمه محمد.
During prayer, this in Quran, the person is reading, he's holding the Quran, his translation by Arabic text, and the same thing is meaning that he is not from what the concentration and the so that's why he's allowed with the translation during prayer.
First of all, there is no need for a person's in a congregational prayer to carry. This is an unnecessary movement in the Quran. It's only for the person who's leading the prayer. If you pray yourself and you've not memorized your recital, so it's okay to read it or from your smart device. But if you are from Imam, then the command in the Quran is as follows: إذا قرأ القرآن فاستمعوا له وأنصتوا لعلكم ترحمون. Reading anything in Islam deliberately other than Quran, and obviously in this the prayer, we recommend attentively. Then Allah says in Surah Al-Ahzab, من قبل. And just that you cannot combine two things at the same time. You're thinking about at the same time. It's not be linking and do your homework or study. This requires attention. Read, study, or play games or watch TV. So, and sisters, what we need whenever you are in the prayer, listen attentively to the Imam is and not distract your attention by reading, even if you can read it after, you can before, but within the prayer, just listen to the Imam. Love you. The idea is asking and administrating women touch and read the Quran. Sister Jihan, assalamu alaikum. Jihan.
Salam alaikum, Chef. I'd like to ask you, what's the sorry, when you pray, you're receiving the phone call, and you is an urgent phone call. It's a matter of urgency. I would allow you to interrupt the oral, to interrupt the prayer and
urgent.
When you urgent, like for instance, you feel from you feel in yourself. Maybe something that happened. You don't do it pretty the urgency, but sometimes you answer.
This is I ask you urgent because in the we study and we teach Moses. If a person is in the prayer and he saw a blind man was about to fall in a hole or fall from the window or back one, immediately interrupt your prayer to save his life. Because this is a emergency. It's necessary. You must do that. But the phone is ringing, the door is ringing, and all of that. Maybe I can make my prayer lighter. I can, but to leave the fard, the obligatory prayer for phone call, that is the message. Only whenever it is a matter of saving somebody's life. That's why I told is really urgent. If it is something I can see physically and visualize, I'm trying to save somebody's life, save that person's life. I give the example of a blind person is about from a window, or a voice who's around, he's seen on the balcony the before and not right. That is valid. You'll be rewarded for it. Any you don't know what it's really a matter of for this or not. You got a call from the it doesn't matter. Call daily, or you call the matter. You are in touch with your Lord, so you only allowed in one or two cases. More one if you realize, oops, I didn't have this place, so you immediately leave the in a case of an urgent necessity, which is to life. This is study from France. I would like to quote من touching on all the problems. Okay, let's take Abdullah from Brazil first. Abdullah from Brazil. Assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
How are you?
I'm doing fine, alhamdulillah. How are you?
SubhanAllah, just a few minutes before the program, we're talking about making a da'wah trip to Brazil.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Really, I like for Quran. It's my first time that I participated because you were with the program.
Barakallah fiik. Abdullah, go ahead. So what question do you have today?
Today I have a question. Today I'm working with a company, so our company gives us for the health, so it's continuing like $20. So if you want to use that card to go to a private hospital, so I will let know it's like insurance or not.
The question is, do you have choice to accept it? He said, do you pay for it? Do you pay for the subscribe willingly in the service insurance, or is something a service or a gift that is what you while you're coming?
The company will contribute the card is every month is contributed of our salary. If one of us use that card, it's going to us if we go hospital or we don't go. So that this card we have facility when we go hospital, make any examination or clinical or surgery. We don't do anything for the hospitals. We just use our card.
Do you pay for it for subscribe? You pay for the service, or is it offered you free by company?
No, the company is going to make make a yes.
Okay, question. Allow you have to answer. So you open a company and it's a quarterly package. They give you health insurance, and it is not a matter of subscribe or not subscribe. Is why do you buy your company? They pay for it. It's out of your salary. You with no blame upon you whatsoever. So you as long as it is something you subscribe and put it on your own. If it's commercial insurance, the company is big and they provide a lot of salaries, part of your salary from every person, and they give you are in case of death, in case of emergency, all of that is permissible. It's a sin nature. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Yeah. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yeah, I would like you to please formulate on motion with charcoal.
On what?
With charcoal.
Ramadan.
Hello?
Yes. Some light on what?
On brushing your teeth with charcoal.
Brushing?
Yes. Teeth.
Brushing your teeth?
No, teeth.
You brush your teeth?
Charcoal. For whitening.
Oh, you brush substance in alcohol?
No,
cold. Yes, I got your question.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Brush your teeth with charcoal. I know it's black and it's disgusting, but they say that, it whitens the teeth. As long as how your health is permissible. It is not forbidden to brush your teeth using for the purpose of whitening, provided you don't swallow it. Barakallahu feek. So as we spoke earlier, when touching, don't you ever touch it with their hands? You are in a state or in a state of janaba for men or women. So if a woman is wearing gloves, hold the Quran through fabric, it is permissible. It's one thing which is concerned touching. لا ينسوه إلا المطهرون. It is reading the Quran while in the menses for women. Even though the vast majority of the fuqaha are the view such as Abu Hanifa, Shafi'i, and Malik, and others, women should even read the Quran, and even hard, by memory, while in the menses. But there is no supporting solid proof that prevents women from reading the Quran. You'll find Ibn Taymiyyah and him and others permit women to read the Quran without in they are in the state of menses. Especially for those Quranic teachers, for those who are reading the Quran to revise whatever they have retained by memory or have memorized. You need to revise the Quran on the basis. So even though they're menses, if you're holding your smart will have and have had a Quran and read, it's also holding. If you hold a hard copy of the Quran, you'll be wearing gloves, or if you flip the pages with a pencil or something that you their hands on touch in contact with the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Thank you, sister. Assalamu alaikum. Nah, from Vienna. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My question is, I want to know if black accounts, what's in the Quran about my issue?
Okay. The Quran perfectly explains that it is round or to be oval. It doesn't say it is flat. The ayah which says it's taken for people to walk on its surface. So it doesn't say that the earth is flat, rather it is round or more. Barakallahu. And it's something that has been explained in very details, but people keep bringing it up over and over and over. And yes, it's also scientific that it is round. Assalamu عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Saif from Bangladesh. وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Surah Al-Fatiha from between the rational for Salah. Is Surah Al-Fatiha even contain
Wait a minute, you say if you read Surah Al-Fatiha in the Salah. I can't hear you. Like, hold on. My brother said, try again. Try again, please. Bint Bloody just asked, is it possible to buy children toys with the images of images? Because this is permissible for the minors. This is permissible for the toys to play with. But when you grow up, you don't keep very large toys of the images of living beings because you're not in them anymore. As toys, it's okay. Is asking, is it permissible for a Muslim brother to post muscles and pictures of him in the gym in shorts and sleeves? No, it's not permissible. It is not permissible. The Quran talks about that. I will explain this after the question. Let's say from Bangladesh. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, you have one more time to try. Try again. Abu Aisha from Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, bro. Aisha, go ahead.
Thank you very much, sir. I have a question regarding yoga in Islam.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on the ruling actually doing yoga in Islam?
Okay.
Another question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, the second question is I came across one which goes like this. La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika ahadan samadan lam yalid wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. I just wanted to know this is tip on.
Okay. Thank you. As for the authentic, I heard some of the reporting Allah by the means of اللهم إني أسألك بأن لا الأحد الفرد الصمد الذي يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. He asked Allah through his great name. He grants an answer. If he invokes, he gives whatever indication the person has asked for. إذا let's talk about the muscles thingy after we finish break. Allah Azza will be back in a couple of minutes. تعالى by herself never touch her and Allah granted a child to Maryam alayhi. How will I have a how will I have a child touch her now? The unique thing about this story is it's not like
has a hadith verse. Umar al-Khattab has a hadith verse. You can see that this ayah ended up having
ونادوا أي يا إبراهيم يا نوح سلام منا وبركات عليك يا يحيى الكتاب بقوة وآتيكم صبيا قال الله يا عيسى إني فيك إلي يا أيها النبي إنا أرسلناك شاهدا ومبشرا ونذيرا محمد رسول الله.
The best stories are the stories mentioned in the Quran. The best speech is the speech of Allah in the Quran. And the best of all of you human beings are the messengers of Allah. We would listen, inshallah ta'ala, to some beautiful recitations. And join us by before. We will do all of this by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make it easy and accept.
Again, for this live broadcasting. We're now broadcasting on the DVB-S2 system. Tune in, use our new frequency 12.88 horizontal now set. Please note you will need to have a smart receiver in order to tune in. Entertainment program with crystal clear TV.
Now I am
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He created man. As outer features, inner features. The most important of his inner features is his heart. So what's the heart? What is man? But his heart is our body. And what is the health? And what is disease? The heart. There are many diseases of the heart. Actions of the heart, things that make it healthy. This is what are these actions. Come and join us on HudaTv in this program. Heart.
الله وبركاته. I hope the as should appear on the bottom of the screen in order inshallah. That in front of you, brother, was about the practice of yoga. But that health and fitness are very recommended in Islam, and we find the Quran and peace be upon him, command us to take care of our health, to maintain our fitness, and all of that, to eat what is good, to avoid what is harmful, physically, spiritually, by every means. So it's with this intention is allowed in Islam. There is harm in the recommended, but there are some sports that are or they basically have as in the case yoga. Yoga is just practice. In Hinduism, there would be unity between the servant and the God with the so it is offered in certain formats. It's a at certain times, especially at sunrise or shuru, with certain mantra or in certain phrases or sayings which do have meanings in Hindu and then afterward in Buddhism. If it is offered in the practice the same setup, this is absolutely, but sitting for some time in some of these positions, contemplating reciting your morning adhkar, not necessarily following the same setup. It's very simple. So where does the problem lie? It will lie in exactly imitating the same old practice, because it is not just some sort of exercise, rather it is a religious practice like for Muslims, like going to church, like going to synagogue for religious. So you do not imitate the religious practices, and also you can unknowingly what is being contract with the people, because this step of the exercise. As a Muslim, you be cautious of it. Say it when you say it, and whether it has anything which is considered a shirk in it or not. Indeed, as the Almighty Surah Ar-Ra'd, والذين آمنوا تطمئن قلوبهم بذكر الله, ألا بذكر الله. A lot of people claim that relieving one's mind from a lot of worries and all of that. What the Quran assures us that certainly in Allah heart comfort, تطمئن, طمأنينة, serenity, tranquility. This is the ultimate rest. And I answer you second question. Mukhtar, he's waiting for the answer about some others posting their images of muscles and where it shows him and exercising. SubhanAllah, in Surah Isra, 17 ayah number 6, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, ولا تمشي في الأرض مرحا إنك لم تخلق الأرض ولن تبلغ الجبال ودمت walk on earth right and don't show off, man. Indeed, tear the earth apart, reach the mountain. So this is pure show off. It's not in Islam. When the Prophet ﷺ told about arrogance and showing off pride and how this is tested and disliked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What about if somebody likes to look nice, he likes to wear a nice outfit? What is it? What is wrong with that? The Prophet ﷺ said, Allah is beautiful and he appreciates beauty. The problem with it, the problem is going off with your clothes. Show of muscles, and also it's not permissible to show your size. It's not permissible to show any part of the aura of your body. Accuse that well, exercise it. Exercise is you for your family, stay good, health in good shape. Nothing to do. Can I الظهر and Asr prayer constantly late to Asr prayer because of my job? We hear all the time excuse, brother, at any kind of job. A chance to go to a call lecture? Yes, I do. I'm answer the lecture. A lunch break. None of us works. We would take a break. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, our beautiful religion, جعلت الأرض مسجدا وطهورا. The whole earth is a anywhere. Keep a jar must. And when we do in your point like a thin sheet, the fold, in your computer case, in your door, and it is even to fill how much time is it? No, isn't take much of time over the prayer time. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi. Algae. Assalamu alaikum. Algae.
I heard you capital.
Great.
Should we follow?
Who? Ali.
Yeah.
For whom?
Some says that he's refused at home, and some say that he's not among the Salihin because
the name first, the person who you're asking about. Okay. May Allah guide us for his best. He says, I live in New York City. My wife is Raleigh, North Carolina. I love Raleigh, by the way. I love this place. I love Muslim community there. With her mama and brother, and his wife and another niece. However, in fear of losing my job, distance to go see her and my daughter because I would like to spend these 2 weeks with them. Is it the maximum time of being married? Yes, it is. But this time, recommended is recommended by Amir al-Mu'minin. 2 months, not yet. Guess what? There are some spouses who cannot part from each other for 10 days. For 1 week, wife will look crazy, and he cannot stay away from his wife, his children. So the marriage depends on what you're accustomed to, what you used to, and your emotion to your family. You know, this is in the priority is to your family. Look for a job in Raleigh or take your family with you. If you need your family or the other way around. But if everything is so, you live with her family, put in the and you're okay, you take off a couple of weeks, and it's very working out perfect for you. Say anything this only when he was complaining that how much is missing her husband boy in one of the Muslim armies. He's been there for a while. So Umar ibn Khattab asked Hafsa, who was wife, how much time can I tolerate the absence of her husband? So she said, between 4 to 6 months. So he described that no one should stay away all disorders. Mujahideen should stay from spouses for more than 6 months, maybe 4 months on a battlefield or in the camp, and a month of traveling and allow another month for return. Otherwise, every commander keep in mind should not be the soldiers away for more than that. Some people, a couple can stay for 1 week. So this is something which goes into your relationship and what your family is in need for. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Montasser from Bangladesh today.
Yeah, I'd like to ask you a question about
Now,
in our country we have to bribe more of the police and as well as government organization for
Inshallah.
in that case,
MashaAllah. It's terrible to hear that. What he's saying, you have to subhanAllah. You see, before I heard a statement by Uthman ibn Affan in lobby. He said, "In Allah yaz'al Quran." Everybody knows that bribery is cursed, and the one who pays bribe, one who takes the middleman, they're all cursed by Allah. Is that sufficient? What people off was if you're asking about halal and haram, but you find yourself in an environment where you have to give, and if you don't give, you get even your right. So that's why Ibn Affan says, you know, right there. But what actually put the authority is the willingness not only of the people, of the authority, of the government, of the leadership. Now, Allah is talking between America, or the Western general, and our countries is when every country constitution, there is a bylaw, there is a parliament and a senate, everything like that in almost every country, in countries which like the sole translator can do have the people's representatives, and they have proposed to what is wrong, why those countries of what is the reason? Because there is something called law and order. Law and order. Law is and it's practiced. I'm not saying that in the states they don't pay bribing. They do, but not in official way, like we are saying. You have to get some people back and port house or the driver's license. No one would ask you one before they go to jail. What is happening in the countries here? Like you say, don't get your driver's license. But if you only obtain you're not being worthy. But if you pay all something, a lot of applicants, a lot of people, for instance, and there are thousands about a job for the government. More under the table, this is forbidden. That's not permissible. But if I do that, you know, there will be a market bribery so that every earning is affected by how you end up with the job, and maybe there are more qualified people than you. They didn't know the job. Bribery is a major sin in Islam, and whoever pays, whoever takes it, whoever facilitates that has been cursed by Allah and His Messenger. May Allah forgive sins. Hassan, assalamu alaikum. Mary, with hadith, and he's not sure that the Quran is the flock. No, never. And in is that somebody just accepted Islam and he proposed to my door, even he doesn't have this mess that you're talking about. That he doesn't think, but he's not Muslim. He's not Muslim. If somebody just to Islam, I would go and he wants to get married, how would he can't happen? Take course. Or maybe he just Islam for the purpose of marrying God, or for the purpose of marrying man. You know, the person is really Muslim. Stop practicing Islam. And whether we turn his Islam or accepted, it will affect his Islam. He or she have accepted Islam. When he started learning, started offering the acts of worship, it takes time. When people came to me and he wanted to share, nice looking white man, engineer, he wanted to share. I said, Allah, so you know Islam. Why accept Islam? He's when I was in this country, there, my secretary, all of my secretary, fell in love, but she's let me marry unless I become Muslim. So this becomes now very problematic. Some people not even interested to learn about Islam. You need to say Muslim. You need a certificate. I'll get a certificate. Right? Don't ask me to drink. Don't ask me to haram. You know, so basically you're cutting corners. Receiving whom you only deceiving yourself. فامتحنوهن. الله أعلم بإيمانهم. This is what the man says is that woman comes making hijrah and she left her husband and her family and so on. Find out first whether they are true Muslim or not. So Hannah, it seems like that. Test them before making it. And the front he is Muslim. To very insist that answered all your questions today, mashallah, except for the questions on the page. There are some more to be entered, inshallah, but we're fine. So I ask Allah for the all of us. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم وصلى الله على آله وصحبه وسلم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
My heart speech, your mercy speech, in my heart your remembrance in your deed, allow me to advance, help me in my quest, permit me to pass the alternate, help me in my best, permit me to pass the alternate test, I lost my heart speech.
Encourage motive into immediate action. If one band or service of the other, that's why we're here for you to help you sell your products and services by using creative ideas, TV commercials, advertising, business and branded products. We will offer you fast-paced and energetic 30-second affordable TV advertising on HudaTv. Acquire say within your budget. For more info, please send HudaTv. HudaTv.
HudaTv is live streaming language Islamic channel in the world. And we Send us your thoughts, suggestions, and emails at feedback@HudaTv. HudaTv is committed to helping others. HudaTv share messages worldwide. They are the authentic based on the Quran and the Sunnah throughout the world by sponsoring HudaTv. This is unique opportunity to gain the reward from Allah.
يا بيت القدس كنت تقول المدينة والله وسائر ننجو القرار يتنا بصوتنا يا القدس تنا سلام تقول القدس المدينة ننجو فوق القدس تنادينا القدس تنادينا أبناء فلسطين صبر الله ينفي سكرتنا الله ينفي سكرتنا ستعود لنا تعود لنا بحلقتي إلا بسلام بيت القدس
لقد كان قصصهم عبرة لأولي الألباب فكان حديثا يفترى ولكن تصديق بين يديه وتفصيل كل شيء وهدى لقوم يؤمنون.
الحمد لله رب العالمين، صلاة على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا مولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم عليه أفضل الصلاة. We have first as far as from the story of Musa and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed Anus in the Surah his followers many sins, and so now there comes a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to ask them to do something. They want to be required actually to put more and let's easier how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإذ قال موسى لقومه يا قوم اذكروا نعمة الله عليكم اذكروا نعمة الله عليكم إذ جعل لكم أنبياء وجعلكم ملوكا وآتاكم أن يؤتكم أحدا من العالمين يا قوم ادخلوا الأرض المقدسة التي كتب الله لكم ولا تردوا على أدباركم فتنقلبوا خاسرين قالوا يا موسى إن فيها جبار وإنا لن ندخلها حتى يخرجوا منها فإن يخرجوا منها فإنا داخلون يخرجوا منها فإنا داخلون قال رجلان الذين ما أنعم الله عليهم يدخلوا عليه الباب فإذا دخلتم فإنكم غالبون وعلى الله فتوكلوا وعلى الله فتوكلوا إن كنتم مؤمنين قالوا يا موسى إنا لن ندخلها أبدا ناموا فيها فاذهب أنت وربك فقاتلا فاذهب أنت وربك فقاتلا إنا هنا هنا قاعدون قال رب إني لا أملك نفسي وأخي ففرق بيننا وبين الفاسقين قال فإنها محرمة أو في الأرض فلا تأس على القوم الفاسقين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سبحان الله, look at the story of Musa. In summary, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed them to see the destruction of Fir'aun, to bring an end to the corruption. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed them to see the Fir'aun has seen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala given subhanahu great sign. If you could Al-Baqarah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he gave them when he gave them all the things, subhanallah, and told Musa, the food we is not enough. We're so tired of eating من سلوى فقلنا بك يخرج لنا ما تنبت الأرض من نباتها وقثائها وفمها وعدسها وفضلها قال أستبدلون الذي وعدنا به فإنكم ما سألتم. So what do they start to Musa, the food that they start giving us is not enough. All the stuff and they say no, that isn't enough. We want more. We want some of the stuff that we. So please, Lord, some so some things and all stuff that we miss in. Imagine Allah giving free. Allah give so many things, and then you're asking for all they had when they and restricted. So they're getting the midst of subhanallah, waiting for ban rather than embracing freedom. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given. So sign after sign, down after down, they're not lethal. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala trials them and tests them. You have to do, it's sign and saying, "Oh, I have a heart." That's wonderful, great, mashallah. But there needs to be action. Allah Ta'ala said to Musa to tell them, remember the favor of Allah upon you from you prophets, and He made from you kings, and He has given anybody else. Allah has given you so much. So be grateful for that. Ya qawm, now it's time for action. ودخولوا الأرض المقدسة التي كتب الله لكم. Land, excuse me, the land of the whole land Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written for you. And do not go His word, because what will happen your whole tip over. You will be losers. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends them a clear command and the whole. There are a group of people that are pressing in the land, and we can enter. وَإِنَّا لَنَدْخُلَهَا حَتَّى Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala system. Well, you have to get ready to fight for your right. Right now, you have strength, you have faith, you have to be ready to go and take away up. What we learn from here, subhanAllah, what we learn in this situation. The people of Musa so oppressed. When we were oppressed. So it's like a lot of this land that is going to be a beautiful land. But in order to enter, they don't have to help those people who are oppressed in that land. Get rid of the subhanAllah. Imagine, so Musa has some now it's time for others as well, and get rid of justice. But what do you want to say? What do you want to say? No, we don't enter as long as you يا موسى اذهب عند ربك فقال إننا هنا قاعدون. Why don't you go fight? Take care of them, get them out, and we will sit and wait for you. Imagine Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed them all these signs, all these wonderful signs, all these miraculous signs. Allah gave them, but they're now in point where they say, well, okay, on your own. Now the command of Allah is use faith, support, be served, being oppressed. Say, go ahead and take care of it. You go ahead, Musa. We'll stay here and wait for you. And so here we learn something very important, my brother, my sister. The time of Allah will come, and they have come, and will continue to. Yes, I go to ready them. How many of us actually learn from seeing them? And how many of us just pause and look at this in the world and look around in the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How much Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the signs and a reason to believe. People, all of these, they're still refusing to obey the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imagine matter one incident after the other. Bound to bound, give them what they're asking for. Unfortunately, they go back to the old ways. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has rewarded them, helped them, and has granted them reasons to be thankful, to be grateful. So what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, when Musa turns to the Lord, I don't have anything except myself and my mother. So we're ready to do what we're meant to do. We're ready to do for us who are victims of injustice or justice. And we're ready to fight for the rights. I am brother, I'm ready. But you are not ready to listen to me. I'm trying my best, my Allah listening to me. So make a distinction between the righteous and those who are going to be transgressed. على سن زمان فإنها محرمة عليهم 4 سنة يأتون are going to be forbidden from be homeless. They're going to be wandering around in literally desert. يأتون الأرض for 40 years because the command of Allah came and it was very clear, and they refused to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala them, and He made it forbidden for them to enter the land until 40 years. By the 40 years, the of the people pass off would be born, and from very beginning, this generation would not be the same generation. It would not have the same characteristics. It would not have the same fears. Grow each person have this lack of self-worth. They don't commit to the courage to stand up. now, these people are going to be a new generation that was raised by the students and most religious of the companions. They actually be ready to at least majority. Now, my brother and sister, here's something that's very important. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran, when an opportunity to do good, they help to serve, to do something for the sake of Allah. Allah will bring people that will be better than you. It will not be the same as you, and actually be implementing. Allah will bring about us. We are in need of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we say no, I don't, I'm not ready for that. And Allah says, if there's no, you'll be and Allah will bring others who will be stronger, more committed to them, who will serve in ways you cannot even imagine. My sister, subhanAllah, fast forward the 3 years, and a generation is now born. And this generation, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to basically give them an opportunity their older parents, older grandparents could not do. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah in 2:36 onward, and we're come back inshallah to the break, and we're going to recite them together. Like a man that the people من بني إسرائيل بعد موسى إذ قالوا النبي لهم نقاتل في سبيل الله. Allah said after Musa, they say to send us a king. The king will basically lead us. The king will lead us and help us, get into and overcome the unjust people. So here, inshallah, we'll take a break and resume the break to realize and to understand what did Israel do, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to be very important for us as well. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
لا يكون في صدري به ما إليكم ربكم ولا تتبعوا من أولياء لما تذكرون. لقد كان في قصصهم عبرة لأولي الألباب.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Forbidden the blessed land and forbidden from Israel. They were not allowed to enter because of the refusal to implement commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when they have the chance, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said you have to work for it. You have to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you prayers. Go and help other people as well and take away the oppressive regimes. Instead, just not willingness to accept command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Easily be a generation that would eventually the generation 40 years later will be the generation that is ready to at least implement on some of the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Surah Al-Baqarah 46, inshallah, reciting together and taking the together. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أعوذ بالله من الرجيم أن ترى الملأ من بني إسرائيل من بعد إذ قالوا لنبي له ابعث لنا ملكا نقاتل في سبيل الله قال عسى عليكم إن كنتم القتال ألا تقاتلوا قالوا وما ألا نقاتل في سبيل الله وقد أخرجنا من ديارنا فلما تولوا إلا قليلا منهم والله عليم بالظالمين نبيهم إن الله قد بعثكم طالوت ملكا قالوا أن له الملك علينا ونحن أحق بالملك منه وتسعة من المال قال إن الله صفى عليكم وزاده بسطة والله من يشاء والله واسع عليم وقال نبيهم إن ملكي آية ملكه أن يأتيكم فيه سرية من وبقية أدرك تحمله الملائكة إن في ذلك لآية لك كنتم مؤمنين فلما قال إن الله مبتليكم بنهر شرب مني عنه فإنه مني إلا من اغترف غرفة بيده إلا قليلا لما جاوزه هو والذين آمنوا معه قالوا لا طاقة لنا اليوم بجانوده قالوا لا طاقة لنا اليوم بجانوده وجنوده قال الذين يظنون أنهم ملاقو كم من فئة غلبت فئة كثيرة كم من فئة غلبت فئة كثيرة والله لما رأوا رجال دخلوا قالوا ربنا أفرغ علينا صبرا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين فهزموهم بإذن الله وقد نادوا وآتاه الله الملك وآتاه الله الملك والحكمة وعلمه مما يشاء ولولا دفع الله الناس بعضهم ببعض لفسدت الأرض إن الله ولكن الله على العالمين. My brother, these ayat very beautiful. سبحان الله subhanahu wa ta'ala new generation opportunity. An opportunity to go ahead and enter the land. And number ready, they're saying to their at the time, why don't you send us a king? Imagine saying you are a prophet, and we a prophet is and gentle. We don't really do that under leadership. So why don't you send a king, someone more powerful, someone who's going to have the military to take us into the military? Would you leader? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells him, okay, are you like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells your prophet to say, if fighting is permissible or if fighting without striving on you, injustice, if you were told on and help, are you going to take it seriously and I go to not do? How would we not? And how can not when we ourselves are people who are oppressed out of our children world? And they're basically saying, yes, we are people know this life. So if they care from Allah, would go. But that's just verbal saying. That's just a thing. What happens? لما كتب عليهم finally again prescribed upon she put out and to help many of them basically back off again. I got problems. Here's how Allah is filtering his servants. Allah is filtering his lead. And there are people serious readiness, and there are people who obey the command of Allah. Of course, as long as it comes from ready to implement. So what happens now? They tell the prophets, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says them, leader is going to call Talut. He's going to be called Talut. Extreme. So Allah, the king, what do you say? They say, أن يكون الملك علينا. Now they start to you want to give him the kingship and power when he doesn't have wealth and he's more and more, and you look at how they still the prescription of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the response of the Prophet is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has favored him you. In Assalamu alaikum. This is the choice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is Allah. Are you going to submit yourself to that? Are you going to understand that you are the servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and he's the master? Are you going to understand that? Of course, this man that you're looking at with an eye of God, this has given extreme power in his built, his strength. Same Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him knowledge. وَزَادَهُ بَصَرًا فِي الْعِلْمِ وَالْجِسْمِ. Allah has given him knowledge, has given him immense strength. So meaning he does have criteria that is required. But Allah is best more than anything else. What do they do now? They say, okay, we need some. Allah tells them, okay, and he will bring you basically box, and in this box you'll have left over from and how won't have left. So basically, some of the signs and structures that basically or left. For example, the staff itself, some of the scrolls, some of the things that are in performance and miracles. With this is not all these to remind them of the signs of Allah as once. What happens? Finally, when you go into the battlefield, everybody's default. Not everybody's talking about. Now the ones who are going, Allah will test them up. Puts it through many series to show which is sincere and which ones are talking, pretending that they're actually believers in reality. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to show them, subhanallah, which one is recommitted. Allah to and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala filters the final test for the final battle. Barakallahu feekum. Jazakumullahu khairan. الله وبركاته.
في قصصهم عبرة ما كان يفترى تصديق الذي بين يديه وتفصيل كل شيء وهدى ورحمة لقوم يؤمنون.
Your lost children one with us. I know it. Just know what I won't let you lose your way. Mercy, you are for this life.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome to we joined Sheikh Al-Hakim Saudi of applying and looking at the example of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We talked about the wives of his relationship with them and all, and we will turn now to the Prophet. Welcome to the thank you for being so first we'll talk about we use word for in the Prophet.
Dhurriya. And this dhurriya can be expanded to include the grandchildren and so on. So any offering is dhurriya of the Prophet. But what we usually is his sons and daughters. Okay. So these are the immediate offering of the Prophet.
In our early conversions, we probably had 11 wives. From those 11 wives, how many children?
The Prophet had 3 boys and 3 girls. So the eldest of the boys was Al-Qasim. And There's some nickname was Abu Qasim. So his nickname was Abu Qasim. And it was prohibited in his lifetime for anyone to combine these two names. But after his death, it is okay for a person's name Muhammad be called problem. But during his life, just not to mistake him with someone else, that was prohibited. Okay. Then he had a son, and his name was Abdullah. And a tayyib. So also this had a couple of names, and both died in his lifetime. The third son, his name, of course, these two previous sons, the mother was Khadija.
Yes, okay.
Bin Khuwaylid. Third, also a name as Ibrahim, and he like months before the death of the Prophet.
His three
boys, no, but actually more. He buried his offspring.
I see.
And so Ibrahim was married, who was a concubine or a slave woman given to the ruler of Egypt.
Al-Qibba?
Yeah, let me start. Al-Qibba, they are the Christian. So she was married. Now, as far as girls, the daughters of the Prophet, he had 4. So Ruqayya had Kathum and Fatima. Zayd was his eldest, and she married her cousin Abu al-As ibn Rabi, and he was her maternal cousin. And Khadija were sisters. Ruqayya first married her first cousin, bin and to the Prophet announced that he was a messenger. Abu Lahab ordered his son to divorce her. And she married Uthman ibn Affan, the third caliph. And they were of couples in Islam. They continue together. They when Paul said that we don't know any couple that were more in love, more suitable to one another, and she got sick. They came back to Medina, and the second year, she got really sick to the extent ordered Uthman to remain with his wife and look after her to Badr, to fight the idol worshiper. And reward in the battle of his she, the Prophet gave his third daughter, Kulthum. So this is the third daughter who was as a wife, and as well she's in the life of the Prophet. So daughters, Ruqayya and Kulthum, were married to men, and both died at the time of the life of the Prophet.
To bury
Allah. It is not easy to and we know that patience is very patience on worshiping Allah and doing good deeds. Patience, refraining from, and thirdly, patience enduring calamities. The Prophet told us that Allah loves, Allah would teach them. So I'm testing the Prophet went through sallallahu alaihi wasallam is unlike any other human being, which shows God of his love and belief in Allah the Almighty. So these are exalted. The youngest of all is Fatima. She was born when the Prophet was like 41 years of age. Okay. So this he loves her the most. Aisha tells, may I be pleased with that, no one was so close to the way the Prophet walked, talked, or behaved than Fatima. Yes, went from that to become one of the people to the Prophet's heart and one of the wisest as well. That's why she is women of paradise. Very high. The Prophet gave her in marriage to his cousin Ali ibn Abi Talib, who was the fourth of in Islam.
Okay, so we talked about the 4 daughters. Unfortunately, the are only 2.
Lifetime. So 6 of them. There's only one. Yeah. So was and she got 6 of them. And this is why Aisha reports an authentic hadith that when Prophet was on his dying bed and he whispered something, so she cried. He whispered something else in her ear. So I will not secret of the Prophet until after his death anymore. So she both I told me that it is time for him to die. So then he told me that you are the first of the family to follow me up and dying, so I left.
Certainly, very clear. All right. So now we know who people are, that the immediate descendants of the Prophet peace be upon him. So what this does for us, it does give us a lot of material to work with. In examples of raising, rearing children, so on and so forth. Can we start, please, looking at choosing the name? Recommendations to the Prophet choosing the names of our children, and we can move on from there in terms of discipline and so on.
Well, first of all, Prophet loved good names, generally speaking. Someone came to him who did that name, whether that name is a form of praising a person or
wait, sorry, just to understand, and this practice of giving that name, that sometimes it will,
some of it, yes. So nowadays, you get people call which means beggar. What you do that evil on from him. Give him a good name, people give him evil, a good lie. Right? Give him. Some try to give the names of animals. So you can see people names as wolf, Veeb, or that is even worse.
Yeah.
And they think that name like depression is fearful, not full in the sense in dating.
So this was the practice at the time of the Prophet. So he, whenever he encountered these bad names, he would
change it. And if it was a name praising, so one of his names was right, which means righteous, meaning that I'm praising. So the Prophet changed it into Juwayli. And one companion's name was Sinner.
Before,
so she changed it into another name as Mila. Beautiful. So that it would leave a good tell you that I am is I'm sinful or I'm he would have a bad that's why the Prophet changed bad names. And this is what we command that we give good names. And this is one of the rights of our children upon us.
I see.
To in the States, for example, they call their names where they dated in this time. So, yeah, what's your name? Tennessee. Why is that? This is what my father. And they go on. This is not the appropriate way. You give name. Children would look up. You give the name Ali, for example. You are a child of someone else's name. Think of the audience. Ali ibn Abi Talib. Kinds of process. If you hear a name of an actor or a singer or a person, imagining calling he look like doing things others and doing the rest. Good names have a pretty good impact on the individual.
Yeah. Later, they're a good foundation for us to continue. After our break, I continue with it on the subject of the offspring of the Prophet.
Revealed 7 different ways of worship. She's a woman by herself. She doesn't even have a husband who's her Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to Maryam. Look it up. She said, how do I have a child? How do I have a child while I've never touched my mouth? One of the unique things of the story is not Umar al-Khattab hasn't heard these verses. You can imagine Umar al-Khattab heard these verses. They seek from this ayah ended up having on his
Assalamualaikum, welcome with the Prophet. We continue our conversation. Thank you for continuing to do this. We had a very interesting discussion about names and this culture. The Arab century and the reason why parents would give certain kinds of names as a form of protection. But the Prophet came and corrected that. And it was about who this children was he directly involved with, and just about the name process.
We don't have the evidence to back either way. Did the Prophet chose a name by some? Was it his wife? Was it someone else? We don't have any evidence. Rule of thumb, naming the children is the responsibility of the father. So one would argue it's the mother who conceived the child for 9 months. It's the mother who went through the pains that follow have right. She has the right to suggest, but the final word again is to the man in command, who's the husband, who is the father, whose child will carry his name. Therefore, that it is part of the process of name that a spouse asks his wife, what are the names like, and then would choose whatever is best in his judgment. For example, Al-Qasim was the first boy, but the second was Allah. Yeah. And stated in hadith authenticated by Bukhari and others that names the Rahman and Abdullah. So the Prophet gave his second son the same. And the third, the Prophet gave his son the name Ibrahim, according to the Prophet's father, meaning the extended father, who is the Prophet Ibrahim. So you see the relation of giving two names with meaning so that the child relates to whoever he's named after.
In the first episode, we talked about the importance and historical significance of Muhammad and now Salam. That Muhammad is now the world's in the world. Time that some people have a time when the naming happens. Did Prophet observe?
He told us that the sunnah is to name the child on the seventh day of his birth.
Okay.
So if the child was the seventh day is Thursday. If he was born on a Tuesday, a day earlier, that would be the seventh birthday. Oh, yes. This is an authentic hadith that the Prophet said, "Cannot I was by a child, and I told him Ibrahim." So the name placed on the same night that the child was born, which means that do I call my son or daughter sons or baby boy, baby girl? No. You can name the child on the first day, but it should not be that.
Okay. All right. As we said, because the Prophet was short lived, we don't have a lot of material to refer to examples of with misbehavior and this kind of thing. So we'll jump to issues, in-laws, dowry. What we have for it.
First of all, when it comes to girls, the culture in Arabia, which the Prophet was that the love of boys and sons far exceeds the love of girls as daughters. And this was in the Quran. The I word person, every one of them was given back a big girl. His face would turn and he would hide from
the Prophet can do.
Yes, they considered it to be a disgrace. And one of the heinous crimes that is I was that whenever one is blessed girl, he would bury her alive.
Yeah.
Islam came to change this and to highlight that this is a gift from Allah. Not only in this life, but also whoever is by Allah with girls as constitute a barrier between him and fire. So, with the condition that you are kind to them. So the Prophet is telling us that whenever Allah grants you daughters, you can teach them, you upbring them well, and you educate them well, they will be a barrier between you and hell. This by itself, it highlights that is not existing with the boys.
Because all, I mean, girls don't remain girls forever. They grow up and become.
Correct.
The role of the mother is in society in terms of society. So I think it's very as a protective barrier and health fact. It could be vivid in that. But, so have we subject to marriage?
See, with boys, once they grow up, they get married, they divorce, they do it my business anymore. With girls, I raise my girls, I educate them, I'm kind to them. There's a bond between us. Once at the end of the day, because there's a possibility that comes back to me. Since we're stuck with one another, death do us apart.
Right, yeah.
So that is why Sallallahu used to choose for his daughters. And this is a responsibility of a lot of fathers that have neglected it nowadays. We wait for a righteous person to come and propose. While in the case of the Prophet, he did not find any reason to be ashamed or a cause and address Abu al-As bin al-Rabi' for his name to Ruqayyah and for Uthman and to Ali for his daughter Fatima. He chose the best of men. Indicates that this is something that should do. Was and when it came to the man's responsibility to give out for the woman, did not ask for millions, for thousands, for hundreds. Of course, he had best of. Yet he chose a little amount and justified that by saying the best blessed women in dowries of extravagance or showing off the least of the dowry result in a blessed marriage. Even have so you graduate someone there's not a job, someone who's poor, problem for the father, even buying some furniture is not how in the Hindus do men give men dowries. No, this is a gift to the girl, but she's going to use it in the house. Buy her a fridge, buy her air conditioning, buy her furniture. No problem. This belongs to the girl, not to the man.
Okay. Well, that should, unfortunately, that we've run out of time. We just want to say an important point, and it will be beneficial for us. We'd like to this episode and hope to come back and continue with in a few. Thank you so much. Until next time. Bye.
does. Shows what your promise. So will now. Won't let you lose your way. You are the mercy. You are the teacher for the life. Let you be great.
HudaTv to remain prayer English channel. And to serve your send your thoughts, suggestions at feedback at HudaTv is committed to help HudaTv share the message. Take part in helping spread the authentic message of Islam based on the Quran and advice from HudaTv. This is a unique opportunity to gain the reward of Allah.
Is Western side of 12 meaning evil has thrown Muhammad. Disgraceful ourselves only. Thank you.
So, peace. You guys doing? I'm very excited. We have special guest, MMA, Gary Rich. He's the best of them all, and he accepts Islam. And find out the message for you. We'll see you in a few when we come back. Don't go anywhere. That's you. How are you?
Yeah.
Thank you for being with us. For the audience, many who are martial arts fans, they know about the you've been around. We're doing it for how long? And when did you start?
I did for I started I started by early 90s.
Was that when was again when you see most people and they saw Host Gracie and they got it and they start training? What made you into this?
Was a good. I've always been he came up and I thought it was something good for me. So I went to my first year.
You were with other legends that you were fighting with. Remember, like was it Mark Hoban and what was the program with the names that were in generation?
Okay, my
also like more you got better than your fear to darkness as well. Everybody knows anybody actually. I think that if you are close to me, I'm going to go up to front of my
Who would you say had the biggest impact on you?
The big impact on me on my brother.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned something. Tell us about actually met him to 185.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I was out fighting in a base. Here's hotel. Sure, I was after actually before I do it. I think brother 17. I could not lose. I could not lose the fight because it was there. One fight by knockout. I went not the fight. I give him the biggest fight. So I so then I saw the leak and of course you could start shirking and they were both on the same age, 17.
Wow. Now, everyone knows Muhammad Ali. He's someone who is not only known for athleticism, fight skills in the ring, but also for humanity, world peace, and all of the other things outside. And that's another thing that you also decided to follow. You following his footsteps. You mentioned something when you said, "Assalamu alaikum, may peace be with you." Very surprised, very elated to find out that you also, like Muhammad Ali did, Islam, submission to the creation, not the creation. Is this true?
When I found out that Muhammad Ali passed away, I felt that maybe a little longer. When I thought he was, I knew he was, and then I just and I just changed because it was more sense to me that because if I was able to do it. And I find out for me.
That's amazing. Not only you had that courage, that resilience inside the. I mean, a great battle nowadays is to come because there's a lot of phobia, most misunderstood way of life. It's a sin. It caused you to have a relationship with one who also did who are sincere. People who are sincere for purpose. They come to with accept because the proof, the evidences, and it's diluted. It's not something strange and weird. Worship the Creator, not Christian. Do deeds, be the being that you can be. And looking for it, you found it. But how that decision made?
No. I'm going behind. Him. People don't like me, okay. So I'm we have to talk. But nothing. Yeah, no backlash. No.
A lot of people are I mentioned courage because the pure with all of this, all this high put together with radical and you have obviously religion. We don't judge, we don't judge, Italians by the mafia or there's always be element of things, but Islam doesn't call people to do bad things. It calls people accept Islam, courage to come out. But like what you said, you mentioned that as Muhammad Ali was carrying the torch, you feel like now you continue carrying that torch. Just about that.
I really I got to look into it and find out myself. And I'm just so I was told that in the hands of the body and I feel like people that people are afraid that I don't understand that because radicalists are even people aren't even people say are going to and they don't understand about love as well. Okay, together, your family. They don't understand because they see plenty of things. It's just like when you see black people. Sorry, it's always negative about you when they're back doing drugs. They never, they never hate crimes, but love, drugs, all that stuff, and people look at it like one myself, so people in that light, but I'm not that like, it's like always tell people like always can't end up trying to prove yourself, but not old people, and that's what it is. Everybody's afraid because people understand but it's like any other religion. I mean, not that if you don't understand it, they don't understand the story.
Yeah, come out. There's so many. To be on point that Jews Arabic speaking, they also use the word Allah. In the Bible, Allah is on the first page 17 times. It's not a different saying God. It's just in the language, like you didn't say God. The language didn't exist. You say Allah in the Semitic language. So it's amazing. People the love, the deep worship Jesus because he didn't call to be worship. He called us to worship the Creator, not the creation. So when you tell people that we is blessed, there's a whole chapter in the Quran. When you mention these commonalities, did you get fast? Were you surprised when you have to believe Jesus and all the other messengers in Islam to the world of creation, the creation?
I'm not wrong with that. That's the way it is. I mean, I love that's the way it is. So if you're all in this section, then wait, people say that rap on anybody, they don't know this they do well. What kind of but they don't remember this stuff is not one. This stuff is people that they're not anywhere. All these masks with these are the Jews. No, it's remember this. It's not worse. It's the most religious. And all these radicals are not even sometimes say that they are shooting or killing anybody. This is what get on harmony. And this is what people are saying. Try something. This is the same. Love. Not of it. And the morning, these people were sorry, true. They wouldn't not at all. So they're not true.
Yeah, maybe brings point like what I mentioned earlier. You have bad apple in every bunch, and to go ahead and to take people who are the black sheep and to prompt them up as if this is a religious and people create fear to people. But I think people are genuine. Muhammad Ali, they look at all the great work that he's an example who influenced you. You're an intelligent person. He was a very intelligent person. Many people out there who are accepting Islam as fast as the way of life. They are in academics, and they're not going to come into a way of life that is calling them to something evil, to impress the other people. They're making conscious, rational. That leads me to my next question. When you started look into you looked into the religion. You did how long did before you found that hold on, religion from a man or a group of men? This isn't from the Creator who created man. How long did it take? Okay, after deep contemplation, Islam.
From that one, and it was quite easy decision. I'm looking at several. Something that my heart rather than something everybody else does. These are my one, my family, the situation.
So you come from a background. Many people don't know that really the main difference. That's really like to the point. Simple. One Jesus worship. That's who we worship. That's it. That's simple. One God. Amen. Yes. Before we cut out, just a couple more things. The audience and maybe they don't. We know that you don't have to change your name. If you want, unless it has bad, bad things. But now you and you wanted to tell us, get some feedback. Pick a name for you. What's the name?
Great. I wanted to say so nothing name, but I definitely like my name. Muslim, this is Lamb, this is McCollum. The minute Muhammad Ali died, I'm going to get to carry on, but this is who I am. He would like to what name to choose out. I think about me. Decision, this decision I Twitter, that's he really changed my name to not just for show, but for the radio. Changing my name completely to whatever name that I want to use.
Inshallah, I'm excited about them. I'm sure the audience is very much your feedback. What kind of name do you think suit him? Strong name. Go ahead. People call me Eddie. My first name is Eho, but it's actually Mehmet in Turkish, Muhammad. So I was also dating out also Muhammad. So you actually motivate me to do something also. So thank you for that.
You can't be people this is who you are. This is who I am. That's okay. I like Islam. People, Muslims being Muslims, this and that. People are racist. I don't know. It's not my business. In order to make them know what it is, you know what it is on this. But if you like, or you yourself, if there's not wrong, what's the you can be?
Yes, you can be. Great advice. A couple more questions before you. Hajj. We're talking about Hajj. You look to go to Hajj?
And pray. And just and learn whatever religion teach them. I would love to go down. You know, on my birthday, I know I want to go there. I've never been there. I just think the next step that I would like to in a religion. And
you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that? Gary Goodrich, he wants to go to Hajj. Let's go. The nations, the people that brought out Mike Tyson and other. Let you guys know, Gary or any other organization. Let's try to make it happen. And with that said, do you have for others? Is beautiful. Promotes peace, mercy for all. Monotheism is about doing good. It's humanity. The world a better place. So you're in this place. What advice do you have others who are out there in the public eye, but they're now they're scared. They might have courage to get in the ring, but they're scared to fight and live up to that identity of being a Muslim. What advice do you have for them?
Well, my is if this is a the difference like be proud of you. This one I'm of plan. Twitter. This time, so I would say to other people, don't be afraid of to hear anyone. Don't solve the law. Even if the people believe in them, the ones who did. Sometimes have to be afraid. You know, it comes around and ego.
It was an honor. Thank you so much. Earth Allah reward you. It was an honor to have you on the show.
I totally appreciate it. That's 1 week.
Brother Gary Goodrich, he wants a new name. Not change it. He wants to. So let head in the comments. Study what you think a suitable name for really like guys input. And we want them to know 5 pillars. Is that justified? There's nothing worth worship. It's in your nature. You can do it. Moses did it. Like Muhammad did it. There's nothing worthy of worship except one created. It's real simple. You're going to agree what's in your nature. You can do it. Nothing worthy of worship. I'm not going to worship anything in creation. Not a man, not a woman, not the sun, not the moon. Nothing in creation. Creation. That's the first step. And then we can messenger. For all final messenger. Include, exclude all the Jesus, Moses, Abraham. They all came. Worship the one who created you. It's simple. Don't worship anything else. And then 5 times the minimum from it, and paying poor to the poor. Have Hajj. Here we go. Have it. Help make it happen. Let's go ahead. There's somebody out there, an organization that you go ahead. Let's put it together. Let's make And I hope that inshallah, we and with open arms welcome our brother to the deen, and those who are watching will also they can take courage, the tone of like Muhammad Ali, what Gary wants to do in his legacy, because he was a Muslim American hero. Muhammad Ali, terrifying people, recognize, no, if you look at his record, what was he was living Islam, Muhammad Ali, and he was held. But that's what Islam do, to be the best version of your all mankind. All mankind doesn't make sense. So do it in do Muhammad Ali, what all the messengers of God to make the greater. Now the Christian before comes next, because this life is trying to, it's gonna live right life here. You're gonna be blessed over there. So thank you very much for doing it. Thank you. Let's get that in and get them to Hajj. We'll see you next time. Until then, don't forget to subscribe, get notifications of all of our shows to you when they come out. Peace. Assalamu alaikum.
16 years. What? God. They go in, teaching boxes. One can happen. God don't praise me. I don't care about America's house. Your wealth is all here. He wants to know how we be how we each other. So I'm gonna dedicate my life to use my name to like help charities, help bring deeper abundance. We need somebody in the world to so now if it doesn't happen, I want to see it. Because we how long? 80. The odds are everybody, some of you will be dead 20 years from now. Some of you will be dead 50 years from now. Some will be dead 30 years, some will be dead 6, 7 years. We all guys. So see what will we spend? This is not the love. Your real self is you. Look at the feet. Your hair is leaving you. Your body's you spend up, that's so live so your body is just housing your soul in spirit. So God is testing us how to treat each other to see where our real home be. Never don't have to slow. So my car, this building is going to be here. Built today. I mean, make kings and queens of England. All after this one is on another come. So we don't say your children are not yours. Not your wife, not yours. You own your children. You own your family. The most important thing about life is what happens when you die. Are you going to that's the so what am I going to do when I'm doing? Get myself to meet God and the best place. Please subscribe to the issue. Follow us on our official page in the link below. Please all help support the donation in the link below.
HudaTv's English language Islamic channel and also really doing special email feedback and HudaTv isn't so not help HudaTv share the message take part in helping Islam based on the by HudaTv. Don't miss this to gain
ولما ولد إذا هم كمهسكون وقال قالوا أآلهتنا خير أم هو ما ضربوه لك إلا جدلا بل هم قوم يخصمون
إلا عدد أنما عليه ولجعلناه مثلا لبني إسرائيل ولو نشاء لجعلناكم ملائكة في الأرض يخلقون.
ما شاء الله. The young viewer, how are you, Mohammed? ما شاء الله. الآن انضبط القبل please.
بسم الله الرحمن